If everybody can bring who they are and bring it in when it's relevant and it listened to and heard and respected and integrated in the work to make our whole team better because, oh, you can see things that I can't and you can see things that I can't. And that's good. And now we can polish the language we were going to use or change this phrase or work differently with this community, or you have this network and what a valuable network that is. And you can work with that community and get their perspectives on this intervention. So if everybody's doing that and everybody's welcome to do that and there's space and responsiveness to that, that to me is the ideal we're looking for. And that I think that to me is why sometimes it's hard for me to understand why these, going back to when people are scared, do they have these conversations, or when these conversations are ideological. Sometimes it's that, oh, if you speak your tiny little truth that hardly represents anybody, you're drowning out the other 99.
Yeah.
So particularly, I guess I don't know if I need to give examples, but sometimes it is, as a trans person, sometimes the desire to exclude trans voices comes from, I'm oppressed because of my gender. And if we start talking about your gender, which is hardly anybody's gender, then you're stepping on 50% of the population that's also dealing with gender-based oppression. And you're taking time and energy and space away from this much larger, actually a majority, I think it's 51, 52%, right, of people that are women. Yeah. Anyway.
Yes. So the oppression Olympics thing that many people, many places, not just professional settings, but like it's everywhere. Started when you were saying that, thinking about oppression Olympics, you know what I was thinking is, or I'm just going to say it. I was starting to think, like, how's it going to sound? It's going to sound like my truth, and it's going to sound like the truth that exists. When DEI work started booming a bit more, and this was prior to 2020, the summer of 2020, what the conversation was that the LGBTQ plus community and those issues concerned, now mind you, this is a whole group of people lumped into one thing, but it was like that was a higher priority in workplaces. Workplaces were more willing to address LGBTQ plus issues and acknowledge the community over many other groups of people, in particular racial ethnic groups of people.
Yeah.
Like that was a lot. And then there were all these talks around, even in that community, the LGBTQ plus community, there's hierarchies in there.
Oh,
And those
real.
issues were just kind of, and so it just creates this hierarchy of people who get resources and responses to issues in the workplace, keeping groups of people at work pitted against each other, fighting for like, my issue's not, so, and that's a function of the world that we live in. And I'm not saying this is okay, by the way, I'm just like talking this stuff out loud. But oppression Olympics exist systemically, societally, and relationally between each other because we feel like it can't be all of us together. That's not how we've been taught things work. There's only room for so many things. So who's going to be up here and who's second, third? And if you're at the bottom, well, you just got to deal with it. And what we're talking about in this conversation and what I believe other people are trying to make room for is just because one group, one person has an experience, it's not a cancel out. It's not a competition of, it's a space where they're all there at the same time. So there's no need to combat. And there's still the very real part of workplaces where resources are and attention is given to only certain things. So that can be really hard, but I just wanted to point that out, that it's a thing that we all experience, and then our systems still be doing the things to keep us in competition with each other.
Right.